Hi guys, how are you doing? So welcome to this new episode of my Inspirations podcast. So it's episode 12 and my name is Christelle. My Etsy shop and Ravelry shop, you can find me under Tricot et Stitch, so my Etsy shop and my Ravelry shop. And so this is a podcast about a bit about life, but mainly about knitting and dyeing, yarn dyeing. So I hope you've been doing good. It's been 2 weeks again. So yeah, the past month I think has been more difficult than at the beginning of the lockdown, but I'm not so surprised because it's like I feel like I'm spent. And I've really been practicing some things for my mental well-being and some self things to for me to feel better, because I've been quite down actually the past couple of weeks. So I don't know if you remember, but the last time I recorded my podcast, I was about to see my family in Normandy, and I was very happy to see them, but at the same time, I understood something about the effect of the lockdown on me, and I think a lot of people are feeling that. It's made me like afraid of going outside and afraid to get close to people, even if it's my own sisters and parents. Actually, it makes me really anxious, and I know now it's something I will have to work on, because for the time being we don't have to go out much because we are still like in the lockdown routine. Nothing has changed very much for us. We're still in the house, in the garden. We are still going outside in the morning, like in the forest or in a very big and airy park. But I've not been in any shop really. I have not done any shopping. I've only gone to the post office to ship orders, and it's like 10 minutes each time out of the house. So it's really not like, going out. And I had some friends over. We stayed in the garden. My daughter had friends over, her friends that we have the book club with. So they came to the house and we stayed in the garden. I had actually a very nice time with a mom who stayed to have coffee and participate in the book club. It was really, really lovely. We had very interesting conversation about racism and systemic racism, and it was very, very interesting because she's working with a Black person, and they already had some very tough conversations together, which is a really good sign, because if that person took the time to talk to her, because she's white, if that person took the time to talk to her and point her about like some microaggressions and things that she didn't even know were hurtful. That's what I told her. You shouldn't be, hurt or feeling like bad. It's a good thing. It means that that person trusts you enough to talk to you about that, and you should be grateful and just listen. I know it's not easy, but really you should listen, and you will soon understand that it's not about just you, but it's much bigger than you, and we need all the help we can get. So it was very interesting, and I am lucky in that she was at a point in her life that she was ready to listen, and it's not the case with everyone, but that mom was in that situation. And I don't know, I mean, if that little bit of conversation had an impact on her and maybe will help her work in a more uh, understanding and careful manner with her boss. And I think it will, I mean, it's a drop in the ocean, but it's something, right? So we had a lovely time, and I was so happy to be able to talk about that with her. And yeah, it was a lovely time. So about also, I wanted to share with you a resource about the Black Lives Matter movement. Black Lives Matter movement. I watched a fantastic TED talk by Ibram X. Kendi. It's on the TED website, and you can find it very easily. It's very recent, and it was really something everybody should listen to. And what I really appreciated, I mean, I really loved hearing him talk about racism and about how he's viewing things, and what is the way forward for us, not only for Americans, but for the Black community worldwide. And he said some very strong things, like racism. He compared racism to alcoholism, like you're not like an addiction. So you're never free of it. It's always a struggle. Yes, it's like a struggle, an everyday struggle. So, and it's not a label you can put on yourself, being anti-racist. It's not something that is, clack, I have the anti-racist label, and that's done. It's something you have to do every day. It's really a way of life. And he said also that the problem is not with the people. There is nothing wrong with the people. The problem are with the policies. And it's something that I think can help a lot of white people going beyond guilt, that is really making them like stuck in place and very ashamed and not able to do anything because they feel too guilty and too ashamed and that's a pity, because what is needed now is what people that are aware of the situation, but that are able to help. And if a white person is so crushed by guilt and shame that she or he won't do anything, won't be able to do anything, really that's not helping at all. And also he said that at the very root of the Black Lives Matter movement is love. And I couldn't agree more. And I mean, if you don't already, because he is very well known in the US, you might know him already. I didn't know him. I knew his writings because he's an author, so I knew his book, but I didn't know the person. But he's written several books about that. A book for kids that I have not read, but that I plan to buy. And you should definitely check his Instagram account, which is at IbramXK. So a fantastic person to listen and to learn from, because he has put out so much things out there. And so yeah. Also, one last thing is said is that white people might want to do a lot of reading, to start doing the work, basically to educate themselves on the subject of systematic racism. But for a lot of people, the motivation at the core of this is to alleviate the guilt and the awful feeling of shame, and so to make them feel good again. And that's quite tricky because yes, it's great that they are learning new things and wanting to be more aware of the situation, but if they stop there reading a book and that ends there because reading the book made them feel okay again, then it's not working. So it really needs to go beyond just reading a book or donate to some organization. It has to be something you do daily, that you incorporate in your daily life. Yeah, so that was my 2 cents about this, and I really wanted, if you didn't know him or if you, why that TED Talk was worth its weight in gold. So yeah, definitely watch that if you are wondering where to start or what you could watch. So yeah, the past 2 weeks I've dyed a lot of yarn. I have not been very active. I have not put the yarn in the shop over the past 2 weeks. There has not been a shop update, so there will be a huge one coming. I'm going to show you that. There is a big thing in France happening because from tomorrow, kids are supposed to go back to school for 2 weeks before the big summer break. So we have a 2-month holiday on July and August in France. And tomorrow, all the kids in France are supposed to go back to school for 2 weeks. The social distanciations and all the sanitary measures are not cancelled, but lightened. And we really feel like it's going to be a huge national-wide test to see how the virus is, progressing. So the figures in France are down, but we still have some clusters. One very close to my parents' home, which is a bit, frightening. Really, it's difficult to, I've been feeling so bad about thinking about putting the kids back to school for those 2 weeks. I mean, I know they will have to go back eventually. I know that. I know. But I really do not see the point to put them back for 2 weeks when we do not know how the virus is going. It's not going to, I mean, is it going to flare up again? Is it going to contaminate the kids and we will go back to square one? I'm really not so sure. So we are, feeling stuck with my husband because I think my gut feeling is not to put them back to school, but there is a pressure to do so. So, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm okay to continue homeschooling them. I've already organized myself to have a different summer this year. So we are planning to go on a holiday. We are currently looking for a house to rent on the countryside somewhere in France. Well, not difficult. We'll take any part of France that is well, France is a very beautiful country, but what we're looking for is somewhere quite far and as isolated as possible. We might have found something, but not so isolated, like it would be possible to go a bit to the beach, like it would be 45 minutes from the beach, and not very far from a very big park, which is Le Puy du Fou, which is a fantastic park, and almost everything is outside, so it'd be fine. Usually we go in campings. You know, we stay outdoor in little cottages with a common swimming pool and lots of playground for the kids and all, but we don't feel like doing that this year, obviously. Yeah. Well, we have not booked anything yet. We are awaiting some answers. But we're getting there. I hope everything will be settled in the coming week. And it will be so good to have something positive to look forward to. And so I've organized myself to, you know, make the kids work during the summer month to have them up in shape for September as much as I can. And you know, things that are presented like games, also something a bit light, not as serious as when they're in school, but you know, to be able to make sure we covered all the bases, and they're not left with 2 months in activity, and on top of like 4 months of no school. Well, no regular school, homeschool. That's the plan. So I'm quite excited because it would be a 3-week holiday, and I plan to do a complete break. So I've not taken any breaks since I started working full-time for myself, which was in June of last year, even May. So I plan on taking a complete break. I won't be at home. I won't be able to die. I will not have a computer at hand. I will only have my phone. So I plan on taking a full break, a 3 weeks break. So I'm very happy about that. I think I need that. Even if I completely love what I do, I kind of feel a bit spent, and I think that's because I've been working like a lot without a break. So yeah, I'm very looking forward to that. Okay, and also last week was my birthday, so I wanted to show you my presents because they're knitting related and I love them. So the first one is, it's 2 books. The first one is a book on Estonian knitting. So with the first tome, it's going to be a series of 3 tomes. So Tradition and Techniques is tome 1, and it's a wealth of information. I love that. I'm a geek when it comes to knitting techniques, and I collect all the books I can. I have a lot of books, and I didn't know that one. And it's by Anu Pink, Siri Ryman, and Christy Juste. And it's chock full of a lot of techniques, but not only techniques, also, you know, history about the country, about the knitted pieces, and a lot of things about the yarn, about the techniques, about, and yeah, there is really a lot of things. There is even a part with some like stitch dictionary. So it's very complete, and it's really something I'm very happy to be able to browse and read and work with. So this is going to be with me on my vacation. Okay, that's the first book I wanted to show you. So that's my husband who gave them to me. I bought them myself. Okay. Told him, darling, I found my present. Okay, it's the best way to not be disappointed. I always do that. I pick my own presents and I tell him that, okay, it's okay. I know what I want. I've already bought it, so it's not very romantic, but who cares? I'm happy. So the other book is the Vintage Shetland Project by Susan Crawford. And oh, what a book! I mean, what a book! It's crazy interesting. If you do not know Susan Crawford, I've been following her on Instagram for years now. It's this lovely woman here, and she had that project of well, what she did is that she went to the Shetland Textile Museum, and she saw some samples knitted by Shetland knitters. It dates back to the beginning of the 20th century. And she had like an idea for a wonderful project to, you know, because those pieces are knitted with wool, they will eventually disappear, and the knowledge with it. And she thought that she could, you know, research each piece to get to know the story behind each piece, and find who knitted it and why and how, get the background of the thing. And she wanted also to recreate patterns for those items using, if as close as possible, the same yarn in the same colors. So she even created a whole range of yarn especially for this project, because the kind of yarn used in those vintage projects do not exist as such today in terms of weight and spinning method. So I'm only at the beginning of the book, but I've read enough to understand what this is about, and this is really, really, really interesting. And I'm so happy to be able to delve into this project and to get to know the stories behind the incredible pieces that were knitted by those Shetland knitters. And the pictures are not bad as well. I mean, look at that. Wow. It's crazy beautiful. I love that. So this is coming with me as well. It's a bit of light reading before going to bed. It's going to be a bit heavy in my suitcase, but it's coming with me. Okay, and that will enable me to directly go to my next item, which is the projects. So I'm going to show you, because another thing I had for my birthday, I gifted to myself a new cast on. So with my knitters friends from the Club Jimmy, they named themselves, you know, the girls from the Jimmy KAL, they named themselves Le Club Jimmy. And we decided, I think I told you, we decided to knit together the Lovenote sweater by Tin Can Knits. So I cast it on my birthday. And we had a lovely time because we rented a movie with my husband and the kids, and we had a lovely meal, and I was like all evening knitting on my new sweater, and I really had a lovely time. So as you can see, I've started the lace. Okay, it knits up very quickly. I mean, I feel like everybody has done or is doing that pattern, and I can understand why. It's a pleasure to knit with, and sorry, and because you are knitting with both fingering weight and mohair, you can dream up the most crazy color combinations. I love it. So I remember I told you guys about this. I planned to do this and I was thinking about colors. I wanted to go with variegated colorways. My first idea was to go with variegated colorways, both on the fingering and the mohair. But I changed my mind because I really thought long and hard about that, and I tried to picture me in that sweater, and I thought, okay, what color would look good on me? And typically that kind of color looks good on me. So I decided to dye a new color, which is a very intense and bright red rose, red pink. So between the two, and that's it. And I'm very happy with it. It doesn't have a name yet, but it's going to go in the shop. Not in that update, but I think the next one. And so here's how it looks on mohair and fingering. And you can see that there is a bit of fluorescent pink in there. And you can see it reacts to the light, and it's really like it's almost neon. It's not neon, but it's a very, very bright and happy shade of red and pink. So it's between the two. For me, it's clearly a red, but it's leaning toward the pink. And it's a happy color. I'm very happy to be working on this. It's my extra fine fingering yarn. So it's a single yarn, 100% extra fine merino. So that's merinos, that's 19.5 micron, the fiber width. And that's the mohair and silk base. And that single is really plump and lofty and very, very soft. And the two knitted together, it's a very, it's a dream to work. I mean, it's crazy soft and airy and beautiful. And it shines a bit too with the silk in there. So I'm very happy about that. So yeah, it doesn't have a name yet. I have a lot of new colorways, but I don't have names yet. Inspiration didn't strike this time. It's coming, but yeah, no leg this time. So very happy about my Lovenote. I think it's going to knit very quickly. So yeah, I'm knitting on that almost every day those days, so over the past few days. So I expect to be making quick progress on that. But you're wondering, I know you're wondering about my whatever sweater, because I told you I wanted to be finished with it before starting to knit on the Lovenote. Well, I'm not. What a surprise. I'm not finished. But the body is finished. Yeah! Look. So that's the front, and the back is a little bit longer. And I've made, yeah, I did that. I think I'm going to reinforce that part with a bit of crochet. I have a bazillion ends to weave in, and so I'm knitting the sleeve. And yeah, it's not finished. It's going to be long in the making, but it's okay. And you see, I think there was a shift in my mind. I'm clearly leaning towards autumn colors. You will see on that project that it's going to be a transition piece between my summary ideas and inspirations to autumn and fall ideas and inspirations. You will see it happen in the sweater itself. but that's okay. I mean, that's natural. So I did a bit of progress on my shawl as well. So that's the Westfjord Wanderer by Stephen West, the one and only. It grew a bit, so I had my doubts when I started to knit, to transition from the pink to the minty green. And I was like, ah, it's going to look like, you know, someone buffed colors everywhere. But you know, trust yourself. That part is really pretty. And I mean, it's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I decided to go on anyway. I love to work on that because, you know, you need only, you work really little parts each time. So it's really not a big commitment each time you pick it up. You don't have like rows to finish with hundreds of stitches. You just need a little triangle. And so you have worked on it. It's a great project. I love it. There was no progress at all on the sock, so I won't show you that because it's exactly the same. What else? Well, on the projects, well, that's it. I'm still working on my project, you know, of all the samples, but not much project, not much progress either on that front. I'm just knitting the mohair alone. I still have 2 or 3 combinations, but yeah, I've not been working a lot on my knitting projects. I've been dying a lot, so that's cool. And that's it basically for my projects. Well, the last project I wanted to show you is that one. I'm really motivated to do a bit every day, even if it's 10 minutes or 15 minutes. I want to do it a bit every day because it's typically the kind of projects, the kind of, you know, feel good project. This makes me feel very good. I do not feel that I have any pressure to do it. It's really 100% pleasure when I work on it, and it's quite meditative actually. So yeah, I've decided to work at least like for 15 minutes a day, and I would like also to like do some spinning, maybe if I can, not much, like maybe 15 a day as well. There is a challenge going on for, it's been going for years now, spin 15 a day. I will try to do that. I really want to be making progress on those 2 hobbies as well, because they are not work related really, and it's something that is pretty, you know, it's chill time. And and when I'm spinning or when I'm cross stitching, I don't know why, but it's like some really me time, and it's making like me feel good. So I really want to take more time to do that, and not to be always in like do things for work, or yeah, do some things that are not specifically because I work for myself in the knitting domain and area. I mean, every time I do something, it's related to the shop or the yarn, or and that's cool. And that's because I'm doing that I'm able to work for myself with my kids and all. But sometimes it's really good to be working on something that is not related to my work as tricot stitch. So that's why, yeah, I want to make some progress on that. You can say I'm almost finished with the January bubbles. I'm about to start February, and I've not spun anything for like months now, but I'll, you know, I'll do some. And I think I'm going to take with me on holidays, not my wheel because it's too big, but maybe a couple of spindles. And I have some projects on spindles that I've not touched in like months again. Maybe I'll take that and do some spindle spinning during the holidays. Good idea, Christelle. I'm going to write that one down. Okay. Okay, I wanted to talk to you about two things that are happening in the Tricot Stitch community. First, there is the ongoing KAL for the Millesime shawl. So that KAL, I've not talked much about it in the podcast, but this is the Millesime pattern. So it's a pattern that was published in January of this year. It's a lovely two-color shawl with pom-poms, with a bit of lace, a bit of short rows, a very, very original shape, like crescent, but between the crescent and the semicircular. The construction is very, very interesting. And there are some slip stitches. I love the details on that shawl. You can see the slip stitches here and the lace with stitches that are wrapped several times, clusters. I love that project. So there's a KAL ongoing in my Ravelry group. So the KAL ends on June the 13th. No, the 30th. Sorry. And I wanted to show you the prizes because I didn't show you the prizes yet. So I'm going to show you them to you. So first, there is, because the yarn here is from Une Louve dans les Bois, so it's Ingrid, she's a French indie dyer. And she's offering to the winner a skein of yarn, so that's the base and color of your choice available in her shop. And if you used her yarn, because it's a 3-skein shawl, so if you used at least 2 skeins of her yarn in your project, she will gift you 2 skeins of yarn, so base and color of your choice in her shop. So that's very generous. Thank you very much, Ingrid. Then there is, so I don't have anything to show you for that prize, because obviously you will have to choose it on Ingrid's website, but I'm going to put her shop here and in the show notes. Also, there will be a prize from wool bags. I might have a wool bag to show you here. Yes, I do. Just hold on one second. So this is a knitting by wool bag. It's size M, so that's one of mine. It's not the one that will be gifted. I will share with you all the details about the bag as soon as I can. So I will put everything also in the Ravelry group. But know that Wool Bag is going to gift a little bag, maybe like this or maybe a bit smaller. I don't have all the details yet. I just know they accepted to be the sponsor, and I just need to get the details. Yeah, so Wool Bags. And then I have a dear friend of mine, Christine, who, when she came over a little bit earlier this month, she told me she made some prizes for the KAL, so I wanted to show them to you. So she's a very talented seamstress and knitter, and she is a constant inspiration for me. And she prepared 2 little bags. So each one is a very lovely project bag she did herself, together with a little set of stitch markers, and she even put some yarn. So that one has 4 balls of Rowan tapestry in that lovely beige brown color. And the second one, lovely one as well. It has so little stitch markers as well, the same, same. And it has 2 balls, 225 grams balls of kid silk in this lovely taupe, or I don't know if it's gray. Well, it's gray, I think a warm gray. Okay, so there will be 2 winners. So there will be a winner for Ingrid Une Louve dans les Bois, a winner for wool bags, 2 winners for Christine, and I'm gifting 2 skeins of yarn. Okay, so that's those 2 skeins in my single base. And for the love of me, I can't remember the name of the colorway. I will put the name here. Sorry, I forgot the name. So it's a lovely shade of deep brown, warm browns, delicate pinks, and a little bit of copper browns, and they're lovely. So that's the gift. I hope you like them. So that was for the Millesime KAL. So you have until June the 30th, midnight Paris time, to post a picture of your finished Millesime shawl in the finished object thread. And I will proceed to the tirage au sort. Okay, well, I will pick a winner early July. Okay, and I will, I think, announce it in the podcast and on Instagram and everywhere. I will not pick a winner, I will pick like 5 winners, beginning of July. Okay, there's another KAL going in the group. This one is until July 31st, and it's for the Brioche Queen KAL. So it works the same. You post, you knit your brioche queen, and you post a picture of your finished brioche queen in the finished object thread on the Ravelry group. And that's it. I will have some prizes as well for the Brioche Queen KAL, but I don't know what yet. I still have to decide what I'm going to give away. The other thing I wanted to show you is that guy that's sitting behind me since the beginning. So it's my friend Laetitia, who knitted a Starflake shawl by Stephen West with my yarns. So I was very, very happy and excited because I didn't have a lot of samples knitted with my colors, and that's Framboise sous acide together with Minerai. And it works very, very well. It's lovely. So yeah, I think when I will start doing festivals and shows again, you will see that baby in person on my booth. And I've been wanting to, you know, knit that shawl for myself, because I mean it's great. And oh no, I have one, but I might have to do another one for me in different colors, because it's the kind of project you just want to see in all the colors, really. So Lovely, lovely Starflake. So, Stillness Mystery KAL. I talked about that the last time we saw each other. And something very funny happened because I was thinking a lot about the colors I wanted to use for the Stillness Mystery KAL. I know I wanted to go with something less neon and less, you know, bright than what I usually like, because my brain is telling me that fall is coming, okay? You see, it's everywhere. So, yeah, I wanted to, you know, use some colors that were more evocative of fall and autumn. So I already had, from some dye experiments that I conducted a bit earlier this year, and I talked about that in the podcast, so if you're watching regularly you might remember them. So I had those two babies, okay? So that's a dyeing experiment I did on BFL, and it's not a colorway that's in the shop yet, and that's an experiment I did on Polwarth. Both are superwash, but both are very different from Merino. I mean, not as soft and buttery, but more personality and definitely more like wool factor. I mean, I love those kinds of yarn, and I really want to have them in the shop. Actually, I think I will add both bases in the shop. Maybe, I don't know how and when what. But I definitely, I love how they took the dye, and I think they look lovely together, and I was inspired to, you know, give them a third companion for the Stillness Mystery KAL. And I thought it would be a good idea because that would enable me to test them, not only dye them, but also knit them and see how they knit up and if I like the texture, if I like the experience, just to, you know, be able to talk about it and give you guys my honest opinion on each base. If I put them in the shop, it's important for me to be able to tell you what I think as a knitter about those bases. So I thought it would be a good idea. Okay, but I thought, what am I going to, you know, dye with that? Because it's not really the color scheme I'm used to those days. I mean, if you've watched my Etsy shop and my podcast, you know I've been a lot about neons and very bright colors, a bit of neutrals as well, but mainly very bright colors. And I don't know what overtook me, but searching for the perfect companion, I ended up with this. Okay, so I dyed like crazy. I have lots of new colorways, and I don't know how, but when I dyed, I mean, almost everything in one session, I was like all over the place trying to find new color ideas, and I started with that one, and then I went with that one, and oof, you could not stop me. And I ended with all those guys, and when I put them together in a box, I was like, oh, it's crazy beautiful. I love that so much. And it's, let me introduce you to my fall and winter color palette. Okay, so it was all in search of the perfect trio of colors for the Stillness Mystery KAL, and I ended up with a full color palette. So What's not to like about that, okay? So, of course, I have some favorites for the Stillness Mystery KAL, and I'm going to show them to you right now. So, there is that one with, I think that's that one, and that one. That's definitely a big favorite of mine. So, the only one to have a name in this combination is that one. It's an old colorway called Sweetie. Not so old, I mean, he's a few months old, but I think it's from March. But that one is a new colorway. It has the tag and everything, but no name yet. It's very close to Antique, but a bit more on the brown side of Antique is more on the purple, but it's more on the dusty pink and brown side. And I keep thinking about that one as vert de gris, which is not very flattering, but I don't know, I think it will stick, vert de gris. So that's option one, which I love. The other option was that I really liked was that one. Yeah, that one works very well as well. So that's a new colorway as well. So very soft grays and rust tones with slight speckles of blues, green, and reds. Maybe I will call it like Cute Fox or something. It works very well with that one, I think. But I think I might prefer the first one. Okay, so I didn't plan on, having a fall shop update, but I think now that's what is looming in the future. So I'm not ready to put them in the shop yet because I still have some colorways to rework if I want to offer them to you. For example, Vert de Gris doesn't have any set in stone recipe. I've never dyed it again after the first attempt, which was very successful, but I mean, I've never done that again. So there is an exhaustion colorway that I really love. It's like a champagne rosé, but less bright, more muted, with some beige in it. And I really would like to be able to reproduce this, although it's an exhaustion colorway, so I'm not sure I will be able to, but yeah, I'd like to reproduce that. Same for that one. It's almost natural, but with some very, very subtle traces of grays, blues, and green. Same, it's an exhaustion colorway on a base that I wanted to test, which is alpaca, silk, and cashmere. So it doesn't have any name yet, but I would love to be able to reproduce that one as well, because I think it pairs wonderfully with that one. And I don't know, but like this, it's beautiful. A bit cold to my taste, but I think it works beautifully. So there are a couple of new colorways around here. Things are definitely less springy, less summery, but that I will take the time to work and maybe come up with a shop update with those colors beginning of July. I would have loved to be able to offer you guys some Stillness Mystery KAL kits for this week with this shop update, but unfortunately, well, I could put what I have in the shop. I definitely could. I will put what I have in the shop. Okay, so if you see something that you like for the Stillness Mystery KAL, know that it will be ready to ship. I can show you also what I dyed. I dyed some very intense purple that goes very well with a new colorway. I need to find names, but I love that one. It's a very moody, dusty purple with streaks of green and speckles, different types of speckles. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous and it pairs very well with that one. And I think it goes wonderfully with either that one for a very dusty and moody pink version of the Stillness Mystery KAL, or something a bit, you know, lighter with Sweetie, and that's in the shop already. I will put everything in the shop. Okay, I think I will just keep some skeins for reference, color reference, but even that one is working very well. For some I have lots of, I mean, I have 5 like this, so you will have things to, you know, I think I will put as well, maybe in my on my Instagram account, I will put some color combination that I worked on with those babies. But there is a couple of nude as well. Nude goes very well in that color palette. So I didn't dye it on purpose, but I mean, it came together so well. I was very surprised because I wasn't planning to work on a fall palette at all. And it's just, you know, searching for the perfect companion for my 2 skins, I ended up with all that. So that's wonders of being an indie dyer. Another thing I wanted to show you, it's a new base as well that I used for an exhaustion colorway, and that is particularly lovely, and it works very well with all the colors I've just shown you. So it's I think 70% ultrafine merino and 30% mohair, and it's pure bliss, pure bliss. It is, I mean, so soft, and so it's a single yarn base. All the bases are very completely mixed up. I have some I can show you that here, but you can see I have some cashmere MCN here and here, some ultra extra thin fingering, so that's my sock base. So that's the yarn I've just shown you. The only one that won't be in the shop, I think, are going to be the BFL and the Polwarth, but there will be soon some sock and single in that colorway, which is Jean Fetish. This is single, this is sock, single and sock. This is the crazy, crazy soft alpaca, silk and cashmere. And you have a bit of Mohair silk also on Sweetie. And this is a new colorway, and there is a bit of Stellina as well. And it's gorgeous to be able to mix all these bases, because every base is a fingering base, and I think everyone has a similar yardage per 100 gram, so you can really go wild and mix and match. So yeah, I'm so happy about that initiative. So, okay, I've kind of decided with you guys to put them in the shop. I wanted to keep them a bit more and wait for, you know, adding some options for the Verde Gris colorway or things like that. But, I mean, I will put them in the shop. And if you want to put together some kits for the Stillness Mystery KAL, you can. Okay, so I have 2 other bags like this to show you, because I've dyed like crazy for the pre-orders of the Brioche Queen kits, and I have a lot of things to show you. So first of all, I have some well, I dyed Brioche Queen kits for pre-orders, but I have also new kits in the shop. So this is all I have. That's not always Brioche Queen, but that's half of the yarn that's going in the shop. Like I'm filming on Sunday, it will be in the shop sometime on Monday. So there are new colorways and some returning colorways. Not everything is new, but you can expect to find some kits to knit those 3 colors of Brioche Queen. So that's the Merveille, that's the Dirty Rainbow. Just a word on the Dirty Rainbow. My batch came out a bit more intense than my sample, but otherwise it's the Dirty Rainbow. And Halloween Dream as well will be available. You will also have some Lone Peak. Lone Peak, you know, is with that slab. So this will be in the shop as well. You will see as a kit. There will be some almost black and white. If you want to, it will be ready to ship. There will be also Love is the Answer, that one. So yeah, and I think I have one Dreamy Aura left. Yes. And so I wanted to show you, because I had a lot of fun dyeing some Dreamy Aura. What I did is I really want to keep those to myself, but I won't need them in the near future. So that's all for you guys. It's Dreamy Aura on Stellina and Mohair. And that's enough to make a love note. I have a dear friend of mine who decided to do a love note with this. It's the kit I dyed for her, not on Stellina, but on extra fingering. And it's gorgeous. It knits up gorgeous. So if you want to knit yourself a love note sweater with those beautiful colors, you have it here. You will have enough to do a love note as well in Sweetie. I wanted to show you, I wanted to show you a new colorway called Vanessa. And it's a lovely shade of pink with lots of speckles and a bit of gray. I will show them again because here it is on slub, but I dyed also some mohair and some sock on that. So, but I thought that that color worked very well. I was considering, you know, joining the Brioche Queen KAL and knitting myself another Brioche Queen. Maybe using those colors. So that's Vanessa on mohair and slub, together with my new pink red on single, and I think they work very well together. So I don't know, maybe. I've not decided yet, but those will be in the shop. And that's Vanessa on sock. Extra thin fingering, so my sock base. And I think it looks lovely, and it's named Vanessa because when I showed that to my Jimmy, my Club Jimmy friends, one of my friend Vanessa, she had a huge crush on this and it didn't have any name yet, so I told her I would name it after her, and that's cool because she wants to knit a love note out of this, and I'm going to dye some for her. So I did a lot of experiments. I had a lot of fun. What I did is I tried some, you know, colorways that I dyed only on slub. I tried them on sock. So that's Lone Peak on sock, and it's gorgeous. So I have three like this. I dyed a bit of Minerai. So that's the color used here, Minerai, and I'm quite happy about that batch because I wanted it to be very vivid, very bright, and I did it. High contrast, and it's gorgeous. I think I'm going to show also, yeah, I will show it to you like this also. Okay. So all that is in the shop. So you have sangria here. You have a bit of Eleanor, a bit of Aperol Spritz that you know. There is a bit of pamplemousse here. The new colorway, Vanessa. A new colorway here, which is a deep green. You have Lac Secret on Stellina, a bit of Mint Paluzza. You have porcelain, so are available in the shop. There is 3 porcelain. And I wanted to show you that colorway because it's a new one. I don't know if I will be repeating it. It's called Chimera. And it's really intense purples with pink and speckles. And I have 4 of them. It's on the sock base. Yeah, I dyed also Love is the Answer on sock. So that's perfect for crazy socks, or, you know, I thought that would look very good in a shawl like this. That would work wonderfully. Yeah, I think I paired it with, is it that one? Yeah. If you want to do a Stillness Mystery KAL, not so still. A crazy one, that would be a good option. That's pamplemousse. Love is the answer. Well, the answer is love, and darker things on Lurex. Okay. What else? Yes, you remember porcelain. I will show it to you like this. So I have 3 in the shop. You guys really liked that colorway, porcelain. You know, it's the one I dyed almost after my favorite coffee mug. There is a Mint Paluzza. Here it is, gorgeous as always. And I think you've seen everything. Oh, you might have, yeah, that one. It's Indécent. I thought I put it in the shop. There is already in the shop 2 mohair and sock, but I forgot to put the single in the shop. So here it is for you, Indécent. And I've dyed it. I've dyed some for a customer, and I'm happy to report that it's now a repeatable colorway and it looks lovely. And I will put some pictures on my Instagram. Yeah, I think you've seen everything. Or maybe that one I didn't show you, Lac Secret on Stellina. So it's a beautiful teal green with hints of bright aqua. It's gorgeous. And it's particularly gorgeous on Stellina. Well, everything looks good on Stellina, really. Okay, guys, that's it for you. A lot of yarn. So that's 3 boxes because I've decided to put even the autumn yarn online. So yeah, there will be a lot of things to choose from if you wish to join me for the Stillness Mystery KAL by Helen Stewart. It starts on the 25th of June, so very soon. And I'm very happy, you know, to be casting on for that project. Well, another one. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for watching me until the end. I hope to be recording another one very soon. I will continue dyeing autumnal colorways. I want to dye some vert de gris. I want to dye some, well, you know, new. Oh, I want to dye the almost natural one with the I want to be able to repeat the very lovely exhaustion ones that I did. And there is a completely new batch already dyeing downstairs. Dying, it's not dying. It's going very well, don't be don't worry. No, drying. Drying. So I will have a new batch to show you guys next week, and I plan to, you know, continue my experiments and order some new bases, because I really like to dye new bases. And I think it's such a privilege to be able to, you know, order new, very luxurious bases like that mix of alpaca, cashmere, and silk, or the other one with extra fine merino and mohair, and it's gorgeous. It's really gorgeous. So happy Christelle here. So thank you very much for watching. I hope to see you very soon, and take care of yourselves, and have a good week. Bye bye.